Hitting this raw, no notes. Nobody want to be a guest? You're getting me again. So, just gonna dive right into it. Biggest news in my world is I changed my name to the Moodang Enthusiast. So I will tell you why.
At just 2 months old, this little baby hippo is already an internet giant. Her fans following and resharing every moment, from these panicked expressions to her new front teeth. Time magazine calling her an icon and a legend, proclaiming she is the moment. Meet Moo Dang, a baby pygmy hippo from Thailand. Her name, which roughly translates to bouncy pig or pork patty, was chosen by popular vote.
So there you go. Pretty easy to see why I picked that name. I mean, just a fucking superstar. I mean, what can I say? Just a pure electric factory of an animal, and that's what we need right now. Checking that ass is checking that out for the next probably 6 to 8 weeks. So, gonna go back. We know what we do here. Just pretty piss poor performance from my team. Up and down. The bench sucked. The starters sucked. Not much to really say. 90 points. Still beat one, two teams, three teams. Actually, they had some injury issues and whatnot, but still, pretty terrible. Mike had a nice week. It's kind of like this. Is kind of what how I thought. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, we have to check how I did on my predictions real quick. But yeah, Mike had a great week. All-star performance from Nico Collins. Really solid up and down, man. Is kind of how I saw this week going for Mike. And just a really solid performance. So looking at it, I picked Mike to win. Let's see. So that's 1-0. So we'll go from there. But yeah, good win for Mike. The couch gets revenge and puts up a big number here on Nate. I know I had that one wrong, so that's 1-1. Yeah, I mean, just again, who was the receivers? Jefferson and Adams combined for a nice 50 spot on the boys. So that's good to see Devontae having some success. Kind of what I thought I would see with him and Minshew there. Jacobs another really solid performance. McPherson and Ravens D solid, and Lamar with a solid performance. Nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, just 140 is going to be really good week in, week out for sure. And yeah, great performance there. I mean, McBride was great. Tom was really solid performance. So just Swift still remains a little bit of a question mark as the keeper. But when you put up 140, I don't think you're going to nitpick too much about that. Team Nate, I know, gave him a little shit in the chat about his starters being injured. And, I don't regret that saying what I said. I mean, I was rooting for Nate, right? He had a huge week last week. Yeah. But Evans, Ingram, that's unfortunate, really last second. AJ Brown probably could have got somebody in there. Benefit of that is that it wouldn't have mattered because Ryan Bell is such a big number. So you're looking for some bounce back here. Get some starters in here, obviously. But yeah, I mean, some stinky Richardson, Warren, Evans, Waddle. I mean, pretty much nothing across the board there. JT looks good, but other than that, yeah, just need to plug some guys in and get some starters going. So the story of the week, though, Bucher dropping a 198 bomb. That might be the highest score of all time in our league's history. I'd have to go back and check. But yeah, I picked this game right. So 2-1 now for keeping track at home. I mean, 50 from Kamara, Godwin 25. I mean, 33 Marvin Harrison. I mean, you probably could not have constructed a better fantasy lineup for this week. Obviously, Purdy with only 14.7. Obviously, you can improve there, but to get to 200 and Jamar Chase kind of stunk it up again. But man, the 198. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. I don't think anybody's going to beat that. So that's awesome to see. And then Kyler on the bench had an awesome day. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kyler getting the start here soon. This team's going to be really good. Jordan Mason, fantastic pickup. Probably, the Puka Nacua level pickup that we saw last year. So Mind Goblin in trouble. No injuries, just a bad week. Outscored me, so I can't talk shit. But yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. Just a lot of swingy spots. Pittman inconsistent. Kincaid's a little bit of a concern because Buffalo does not seem to be concerned about throwing the football this year. Just riding the coattails of James Cook. At least that's how it's been the last few games. So still a really strong roster. Addison and Watson on the bench. Dylan, Watson non-factor with Willis in there, and then Addison obviously coming off the injury. So we'll see. Team's got some hope to it, but 0-2 start is definitely not where it wanted to be. Hoping they can right the ship here soon. So next one I had Ed, 3-1. Go me. Yeah, 126.9. Another really strong week. Jaden Daniels, not the best week, but everyone else picked up the slack for the most part, other than Lad McConkey. Wide receiver 2 is going to be a little bit of an issue for this team, I think, just kind of with some of these guys. I think Shakir probably finds a way in the starting lineup here soon. He seems to be the reliable target for Josh Allen up there right now. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to, again, these numbers, you're not going to complain about taking 126.9. It's going to win you most weeks. So yeah, great week there. And then, looking at the Pizzles, man, these magazine scouting reports got to get thrown out the window because boy, they are not working. I mean, not much help on the bench, dealing with some injuries. Obviously, Keenan Allen, he was out. He was injured. That could have been somebody we subbed in. I thought he was kind of known he wasn't going to play. So I missed that on the analysis there that I gave Nate a hard time for. So my apologies, Nate, on that. But again, didn't really matter because I think this game was over anyway. Keenan Allen wasn't going to drop 60 or whatever it was on Sunday Night Football. So anyway, definitely a lot to work out there. I know he's been firing off trades, trying to get some guys cooking, get some improvement here for the squad, and they get the ship guard right. So, and Rock Boys 2-0, another not super high scoring week, broke 100, which generally for the rule of thumb is how you win in this league. The bare minimum's 100 to contend. Yeah, 111, really fine score. Just some really gaudy numbers this week to kind of muddle this down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, CD had a really nice week. Olave, nice bounce back. James Connors had a great week. So yeah, 111, really solid. Stephon Diggs, I think you're going to be a little touchdown dependent. There's just a lot of mouths to feed in that receiver room in Houston. So you're just going to see that swing. Pollard, again, not started. A little confused now. It's 2 weeks. I think the volume's there. We'll see if he slides him in at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if it's soon. This week or next seems about right. And then the Moody White picking up where he left off last year, man. Really good looking team, good looking roster, just not the results that we're expecting. Pickens, I had about 9 fantasy points taken away from him due to penalties in that game from what I saw. Hello, Malik Neighbors. Welcome to the NFL. Amon-Ra with the bounce back. The fact that Saquon didn't score a touchdown, incredible in that game. And Stroud didn't have a fantastic fantasy game. JSN on the bench, probably going to find his way starting here soon, I would think, over Pickens. A little bit of concern in the tight end room. And I think Rashad will figure it out. Maybe. This is what, year 3 of him? So I don't know. Yeah, it's a little bit tough. I mean, you could throw Zeke out there. You at least have the chance of a touchdown. Rashad White, we'll see though, man. They could pop off at any point. And it's just a little bit of concern there with some of these spots on this team. But good win for Josh. Way to get 2-0 and set yourself up for a nice season. So last one on the recap. And then the last game I did have George to win. So 3-2 in the last game here. I had the Milkman to win. So 3-3. I'm really fucking good at this. 4-8 on the year now with my predictions. So good for me. Yeah, unfortunate that Tyreek loses Tua and has an unfortunate performance. And then obviously Cooper Kupp goes down. That stinks. Tight end, no production there. And Ridley, great day in the flex spot, but there's not a lot of depth here on the bench, at least it looks like. So, he made some moves, I think, this week to improve, and I'm facing him this week. So, hoping for, repeat performance, obviously, for my sake. But yeah, just not what you want to see in dealing with the injury bug this early in the year. As I know, the Moo Dang enthusiast understands. Then looking at Team Coleman, great week. Mahomes not really putting up the numbers you want, but didn't really need to with James Cook dropping that hammer on Thursday Night Football. Kyron, touchdown, dependent, consistency. Drake London, good week, 14.4. That's 1 out of 2. Could that ship be writing? Steal the draft. J.K. Dobbins appears to be the way that we're going to look at that. A 0 spot out of the tight end room. Still put up 143. I think we'll all take that. So really strong week from everybody in the lineup here. Rashi Rice is another steal. This is a really good roster, man. Tyler had a great draft, I will say. And I'm really impressed with this starting team. Barring injury, I know he lost Njoku. But barring injury, this is going to be a really, really tough squad to contend with week in, week out. All right, so moving in here to this upcoming week, like I kind of foreshadowed, I'm playing against Zach. We'll see what the starting lineups look like. I think mine's kind of set. I picked up a few shitty players, and we're going to stick them in there and see. I don't trust Tajay Spears, so that's why Deontay Foreman's in there. And hopefully the Giants' rush defense is horrific like it has been when we get some points. So, yeah, I mean, I think the key for me is going to be what I get out of my wide receiver 2 position, because I don't think I can start Jaden Reed with Malik Willis back there. And Cortland Sutton's a fucking liability. So we'll really see. I think Quentin Johnston is going to be solid because of the volume factor that he receives. And then we'll see. So I'm kind of in a fortunate spot with Brooks on my IR and Pacheco on IR. And, love being out for the sake of Jaden Reed because that was kind of dependent on him to be a big player for me. So hoping I can squeak by with a win here, figure it out. Looking at Zach. Yeah, just look at some of these matchups. God. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Josh Allen and the Bills are going to look like this year, man. They really seem to be committed to this ground game. Obviously, week 1, he scored 4 touchdowns. So we're going to ride the wave of Josh Allen. But I hope we get week 2 for my sake. And then, if Jake Ferguson's plays and is any bit as open as Brock Bowers is, I'm going to lose this game. Because those guys did not cover. Deontay Johnson in the flex, good luck. Danny Dalton's throwing the ball now, so might get some production there for once this year. So yeah, I mean, I think I lose this week, honestly. Looking at this projection feels about right, about 7 points. I can see myself getting up to 110, 115, but I just have a feeling I'm going to lose this one. So look at that, Nate versus Mind Goblin. Let's hope that Nate has indeed made his lineup changes. So hopefully Evan Ingram slides in there. This is a very funky projection because Mind Goblin's got his squad out there right now. And Team Nate does not, as far as the tight end spot goes. So see how the adjustment is there, see if he plays, see if he picks one up. No one on the roster though, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. That's up to him to decide though, obviously. So I'm assuming he's gonna get a tight end that plays. Looking at this real quick. I think it's a big bounce back bot for Indy. It's my favorite term, bounce back. Really disappointing performance from them last week in Green Bay. They're getting some home cooking against the Bears. I think they'll get some favorable field position because obviously Caleb has shown that he likes to throw the ball around a little bit. You get turnovers with rookie quarterbacks, what you get. So not saying Richardson won't, but you're just going to get some shortened fields, I feel like, in this game. Waddle, we'll see how he does with the backup, because typically speaking, the backup quarterback generally finds rhythm with someone else who isn't the wide receiver 1. Wonder if that's what's going to be. Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver 1, just like we all thought coming into the year. All he does is catch bombs from maybe MVP Derek Carr. So, good spot start there. Looking at Mind Goblin, not a lot to like. Aaron Rodgers tonight against a tough New England defense that hasn't given up much this year. Aaron Jones against Houston, that should be pretty interesting. I'm really interested to see what Minnesota looks like against them. Probably, not that San Fran's a slack, but this is any slash by any means, but pretty interesting in my mind. Let's see here. Addison, wonder if he plays. Projected to, I guess. Worthy's been awesome. But yeah, I think this projection is a little unfavorable, even without the tight ends points here. I'm going to take Nate to probably win by 5, give or take. I just like kind of some of these spots. Who did Denver play last week? Pittsburgh. Yeah, like I said, Pickens had a lot of opportunity last week to score from what I saw on the highlights and red zone and whatnot. So I'm assuming Mike Evans is going to get that treatment from Surtain that Pickens got. And Pickens found a lot of opportunity for the football. Mike Evans is gonna, I would assume, get those same opportunities to get those 50-50 balls. So for that reason, I think Mike Evans had a nice day. We're gonna take Team Nate. So we got the battle of the brothers here. Huge projection for the J Piz after these two bad performances. And back to reality for the couch. So looking at Justin's squad, Nixon should play. Minnesota's rush D, pretty good last week, I would say. Washington, Zach Moss, that's a touchdown at least. Garrett Wilson gets to the end zone tonight for the Jets. I will say that. He's, for your bettors out there, first touchdown, count it. That one's hitting. J-Mo's been great. Laporta really lacking. So I mean, yeah, you're just looking for some bounce back to go to it again. I need to get a t-shirt that says bounce back. But yeah, just looking for some signs of life on some of these players. So this projection feels really high for me though, after what this team's done the first 2 weeks. So I spoiler alert, I'm probably not picking the Pizzle to win. I'm looking over at Ryan. That Dallas defense got gashed last week by Derek Carr. Clearly, they put some stuff on film they're going to work on. Clearly, some of it won't be able to get worked on. So I think the Ravens, in desperate need of a win, come out and Lamar has a nice day. Jacobs against Tennessee, good defense. The Malik Willis revenge game most likely in Tennessee. So expect that heavy rush doses of Jacobs. Indy didn't do well against the run last week when they knew it was coming. So I don't see why Swift wouldn't have a nice day here. We'll see though. These receivers obviously gonna be the key pieces. Carolina's pass defense is horrendous. Houston's corners are really strong. We'll see, but I think Adams is another monster day. McBride's going to get his. I like the Jauan Jennings start here. Really solid performance so far. Got a little scared of Brian Thomas. He played pretty well last week, man. Don't hate your young guy. Lean into it. I'll certainly take him off your hands if you're not going to play him. Love the opportunity to give you a running back that's better than somebody that's averaging 5.6 a game. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm going to pick you to win, Ryan. I just don't think this Pistol squad's got 114 in them. I don't know if you got 116 in you. You probably do, but I know this team only got 114. So I'm just gonna take the couch there and get to above 500 in the league, probably for the first time in 3 years for Ryan. So that's pretty sweet. Going to the Moody Whites versus Team Bucher, projected a monster check mark score here. Would be surprised if we see some lineup shakeups from the Moody White. Man, Houston's or New Orleans defense looks good. Rashad White's been pretty bad. Arizona's pass defense did great last week against the Rams. That pass rush got home. Very surprising to me. Cleveland, yeah, a lot of bad matchups here for a lot of the skill players on this team. And Stroud versus Minneapolis at Minneapolis. Obviously, Purdy had a pretty rough go last week. So we'll see. Looking at Bucher, looks like he's going to stick with Purdy, which I don't hate it. The Rams gave up a shit ton in the air last week, so why not? Look at all these, like, number 1, number 6, number 3, number 2, number 9. I mean, these guys are just blowing up. I don't like doing the not much to break down here bit, but when they have all these check marks on the right-hand side of my screen here telling me that this team's going to perform, I think they're probably going to perform based off how these defenses have looked. I just think it's a lot of unfortunate matchups for George this week from a lot of his key players. So for that reason, I'm going to pick Team Bucher. And the slide continues for the Moody White. But remember, in this league, generally speaking, we keep it real tight until the end. So 6 wins is all you need to get into the playoffs. So we got 14 weeks. If you go 6-8, sometimes even 5-9, if somebody quits the league and you get an extra playoff spot, it has happened before. You can get in. So 0-3 start, not a big deal. Make some changes, get some players in there, get some mojo going, and you're in the playoffs, and you're going to win the whole damn thing. Ask Ed. He was a 7 seed 2 years ago, and made the dance, got it done. So you never give up hope. Speaking of Ed, playing Team Coleman again. I did not mess with the schedule this year like I did last year. So just ESPN really wants these guys to play twice in the first 3 weeks. So I think I picked Ed the first time. Probably going to pick Ed again. Child's got Njoku in there, so he doesn't play. Figure something else out in the tight end room. Doesn't have, or he has Juwan on the team. I think he'll probably get a ball or two this week. Yeah, man. Yeah, kind of similar to the last game I looked at with George. I don't love Mahomes gets Atlanta. I mean, that defense proved that they can cover, and they added to their pass rush with Judon. So that defense is nothing to slouch at. So obviously, Kansas City gets great scheming their guys open, but I just don't see the explosion. That I don't see 15 points out of Rashee Rice this week. I don't see 21 points out of Mahomes. San Francisco's rush defense is usually historically good. Kyron Williams and a bunch of backup receivers with Matt Stafford this week. So assume heavy usage Kyron. Hopefully avoids injury. Probably finds the end zone. James Cook will cook. No question there. Drake London gets demoted to flex after his good performance. So we'll see how that messes with the psyche. And then looking at Ed here, Cincy's defense is pretty good. They did good against Mahomes, except for a couple penalties. And then up for your interpretation if you thought they were penalties or not. I thought they were, but nonetheless. So, I think they'll throw a lot at Jaden. We'll see. Arizona look pretty good on the rush D, and I think man, Detroit's got some things to work out, man. I mean, they lost the home to the Bucks. Bucks look good, but they just don't seem to be clicking right now. So hopefully Jameer can find the end zone and get that going. Brees tonight against New England D. New England D's been really solid. So Brees could score, absolutely. I think he probably will. But we'll see. Devonta, probably no AJ Brown again, so expect a heavy workload. Tank Dell, Nico Collins didn't practice today or yesterday, it might have been. So if that's the case, Tank Dell elevated role, must start for sure. Bowers has been awesome. Achan's been awesome. Seattle's defense very good. I think there's too much talent on the right side of the screen here. And I don't like either of these defensive matchups for these teams, but I'm just gonna take the better roster at this point. So I'm gonna take Ed to win this game. And then last one here, guys. We're gonna do battle of some 2-0 squads. All right, Baker's gonna bake for Mike against Denver's D. I think Mike Evans has a good day, so I think Baker has a good day. That's usually how that kind of stuff works. Bijan against Kansas City. Teams have shown some effective usage of running the ball against Kansas City thus far. So I don't see why Bijan wouldn't be able to continue doing so. Ramondre, going to get a heavy workload, probably finds the end zone. You can probably hear my parlay that I got that I'm trying to speak to in existence right now. Collins might not play. Probably will fight through it, so we'll see. Minnesota's defense looked awesome last week. So kind of I think Collins is kind of matchup proof though, honestly. Metcalf, you're just gonna get the swings with the man there. Likely against Dallas. It's a better week than he did last week, but man, who knows with that pass offense? It just Flowers is gonna get the ball. So I'm kind of surprised Mike's not playing him. Flowers seems to be the feature guy, and then kind of fill in your spot of Andrews, Bateman, likely from there. Kind of is how it looks. But kind of seems with no identity. I don't think the Ravens really know what their identity is right now, which is probably why they're 0-2, but I digress. Singletary against Cleveland. I don't love that. But they're gonna probably gotta get some balls on the check down game. They'll be probably losing. So yeah. I don't love some of these decisions here, honestly. Mike's in Vegas having a good time though, so he's not gonna hear this, he's not gonna check in. So he doesn't care. He's 2-0. What can my meager 1-1 team tell him that he doesn't already know? Looking at Josh, got my man Derek Carr in there after slinging that pill. I think it's going to be a big week for Kamara. So if it's on some screens, it'll be pretty good for Carr. James Connors seems to be a machine. Green Bay, we'll see with Pollard. You got Pollard in there though, so I'm happy about that. He listened to me. Olave and CD. I think Lamb might put up 40 this week against us because we don't seem to stop passers, or I should say receivers, or quarterbacks for that matter. Don't seem to be very enthusiastic on defense. So Goddard, we'll see. Jerome Ford, that's a slam dunk hit. I like Josh's matchups. Not gonna think too much about it. Taking Josh. Boom. So Josh, Ed, Bucher, Ryan, Nate, Milk. Try to pump this out for you guys. And I think we've done so. Hey, good night, Chimmers. Meow.